let me get right into it. Alright guys, so, you know, I'm sure that all of you guys have been aware that there's been a lot revealed in the past 24 hours. I personally debated whether or not I wanted to have this discussion now or later, but I'd much rather just, you know, for it to be right now than to try to hold back on, you know, the thoughts and feelings regarding the current situation of the game, you know, only to have it in the back of the mind, in the back of like your mind while you're playing, you know, the current patch, right? Just want to get it all out there, so feel free to comment and everything. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on the comments as I go through this here. But first off, we discovered last night that there were no new character interactions whatsoever with any of the new characters in Character Pack 7. Now, that's something that caused, you know, it kind of caught like a lot of people off guard, including myself, and a lot of us are pretty pissed about it, to be honest, and, you know, rightfully so. This game has had problems since its launch back, you know, last year, May 31st, 2018, with the two biggest problems being the roster and the game's balance. Those were the two biggest problems that this game has had over the last year. Now, if you, let me see here. Yeah, now, if you got, the dream characters that, that you were looking for, you know, the characters that you specifically wanted to play, then, you know, that's awesome. You're probably really happy with the game and everything. You know, if you got the buffs in this recent patch, if you got the buffs that your character needed, if your character was like a lower tier character, right? You know, you got the buffs that you were waiting for, then you're probably going to be, you know, really well off. I know that Chie players are pretty happy for the time being. Just so you guys know, in case you didn't know, Chie can now combo off of her air DP. She can combo solo off of her air DP into Touch of Death. Chie can Touch of Death you from her air DP. It's kind of crazy. You know, ultimately, we gotta wait to see how this patch and everything shakes out. But, you know, even if this patch does solve a lot of balance problems, ultimately, I think that what they've done is they swapped out one problem for another. Because now, you know, we have these new characters, and we don't have any interactions with them, and a lot of people were really looking forward to them. Just like I was mentioning earlier, even last night on Koei's stream, people were asking him to pick certain characters to see if they had any interactions, you know, in versus mode, you know, see if they had any special intros. And he had already told them that none of the new characters had interactions, but the chat literally did not believe him. They just didn't believe him. And, you know, I personally, I wasn't reading the chat myself. I was watching the stream on my PS4. But judging from how he was talking, a lot of the people there were depressed, and they were really disappointed about the stunt that Ark pulled with the game, you know? He went through teams like Blake and Seth, you know, Naoto and you know, Naoto and Ragna, and none of those characters at all had any special intros. You know, none of them do. And it just, you know, it just sucks that's how they handled this new character pack. You know, I know for myself, I was really looking forward to it. Naoto Yang that was one of the teams that I personally, like, that's one of my dream teams, man. And I was so happy that Naoto was finally added to the game. And even if Naoto and Yang didn't have their own interaction, just for him to have special interactions in the game with other characters, you just don't know the kind of difference that would have made, to be honest. Seriously. Let me go through the chat really here. Just so that, you know, just so I make sure I don't miss anything. Oh yeah, I mean, Gord got noticeable. Yeah, so, there were still a good amount of Gord's nerfs that were reverted, but Gord got hit. And I only had like one match against a Gord today. Gord got hit, and I like it. I noticed it right away. I didn't go into training mode or anything. In actual practice, I noticed that Gord did get some nerfs, and he deserved those nerfs that he got. And I'm happy that he got them. You know, sure, his 5B is still stupid. Okay. Alright, what are you gonna do? I mean, I'm happy with what we got. It makes fighting him, you know, much more feasible. At least with my team, you know, noticeably. But, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, yeah, specific character interactions missing it. Yeah, man, Seth and Hart. I was looking forward to Ruby Hart. That was a guaranteed interaction, because all the protagonists have interactions with each other. I was really angry about that, man. Alright. Let me get back to the points here. Right, okay. Alright. While it definitely totally sucks that we didn't have any new special intros with the new characters, personally, I think the bigger problem here is the fact that they didn't tell anyone about any of this. We had to literally get it, and then we just had to figure it out ourselves. Like, oh, well, the new character pack is missing interactions. They didn't tell anyone at all. They didn't mention anything. They acted like everything was normal, just like, oh, hey, it's another character pack. You guys know what to expect with the character packs. And that just wasn't the case at all. Now, going back to what I said in one of my earlier streams, I talked about how BBTAG needs a roadmap for this year, and had they had some kind of stream or something, you know, that, you know, like where they announced the number of characters they had planned for this year, or they gave us some silhouettes, or they revealed the first pack for Season 2, and then they tell us, oh hey, we really want to have as many characters in BBTAG as possible, but we're going to have to cut out special intros from here forward if we're going to be able to achieve this. Even though that would really suck, having them directly tell you that, at least the player base would have known ahead of time, and it wouldn't have hurt as badly finding out now, because they would have already told us. Yeah, yes, distortion. Yeah. The marketing for BBTAG's marketing, it's honestly just, it's been piss poor, man. It honestly has. It really has. If you compare it to Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, just take a look at Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, dude. Every major, like a bunch of major FGC players, they're talking about the game. Everyone's saying, hey, sign up for the beta. I believe even, I might be, I don't know, maybe I'm not remembering this right, but I think that, like, the Evo Twitter channel or something even said, hey, sign up for the beta. I think they did. I know a bunch of different pro FGC players, they were saying, sign up for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Everyone's talking about, well, a lot of people, I'll put it that way, a lot of people are talking about Kill la Kill If. Flux is out there. He was even praising Kill la Kill If. We have a bunch of people praising the other games that they're working on. We just don't really have, you know, too many people talking about BBTAG in a positive light. It's been a while since we've had that. We had people talk positively about the game when they said the new pack was free. And then the day comes that we get the thing that we've been waiting for, and then there's problems. And I honestly, like, I hate it. I'm just being honest. I hate that. Ever since Evo of last year, BBTAG has not caught a freaking break, man. I swear, dude. And it's not that hard. It's not hard. We gave them a list, dude. We gave them a list of characters, letting them know exactly who it is that we want in the game. With a bunch of those characters, excluding, you know, the Ruby characters, everyone else, they already have the assets for them. They already have them, dude. Oh, man. Let me just double check the comments here. Yeah, Distortion. I mean, yeah, the way I see it is this: there's always going to be some character combination that people feel like they need to have an interaction. Look at Kanji Wald. A lot of people thought that Kanji and Wald would have an interaction. In the story mode, they even have an interaction, you know? But nope. They don't even have an interaction. I mean, there's a lot of combinations that people thought would definitely have interactions, but they don't. And I'll be honest, I don't like that Teddy's in the game. Because I didn't want him in the game, right? But Teddy being in the game, the one really good thing about Teddy being in the game, I thought his interactions would be comical. I thought he would have some pretty funny interactions hitting on the different girls in the game. That's the one thing I look forward to regarding Teddy. But that's not even there, man. I mean, come on. Tiger, dude, yes, I don't know. I mean, you guys see, I go on Twitter, I reply to them, and I tell them, I don't mince words. I'm direct with them, I'm straightforward. Hey, if you're gonna drop your standards, at least let the player base that's stuck with the game for this long know ahead of time. You know? I mean... Okay. I just personally think... Yeah, like I just said, I personally think that they definitely owed it to their player base to directly let us know that they weren't going to be able to keep up the same standards, regarding the character interactions and content. Because, believe it or not, people expected all the DLC characters to come with interactions. All the previous DLC characters came with interactions. Of course, everyone thought that these new ones would too, you know? And now it just feels like they intentionally were trying to trick us and hide this fact from us. Now, like I just said, personally, up until today, I haven't had any of my dream teams in this game. I have been dying since the day that they announced the game to play Terumi and Adachi, Celica and Rise, Roman and Neo, Ruby and Crow, Blake and Sun, and I finally now can play Naoto, Kurogane, and Yang. But the rest of those characters, I named a bunch of characters that people have been asking for the past year. Characters that are either major characters or major villain reps for each franchise, yet they're still not in the game. Out of those, only, like I said, just one has become playable, and they don't even have a special interaction, which that's okay. But I was looking forward to things like seeing Naoto Kurogane call, Rachel, Raquel, maybe, having an interaction with Ragna. I was so sure that Naoto and Ragna would have an interaction, Blood Edge brothers, dude. I mean, come on. But having none at all, that is what's unacceptable. And I think that if this sets the precedent for all the future DLC packs, then that means no special interactions between the villains. People have been waiting like a year now for the villains. No special interactions between them. No special interactions between Rise and the rest of the investigation team. No special interactions between any pair that should have a special intro. Kind of like how the protagonists are supposed to have one. None of that. I think that between this and the lack of single player, and offline content, I think that casuals are going to think twice before they decide to pick up this game. Because, I'm sure the casuals who picked this game up for these new characters that just came out, they're probably pretty disappointed at this point, since none of them have any special interactions. Let me double check the comments here, and then I'm going to get right onto the data mine. Alright, let me see here. Yeah, Zin. Zin, I think that, yeah, between now and EVO, there's a lot that needs to happen. there's a lot. I mean, when I say between now and EVO, I mean between now and EVO Grand Finals. If they don't announce anything before EVO, then at EVO Grand Finals, they have to really nail it. They have to. They have to, dude. All right. Yeah, Tiger. Tiger. I think that this is gonna be BBTAG's last Evo. I think that this is gonna be BBTAG's last Evo, man. Distortion. You're not the only one who's been waiting for Adachi. Adachi is the most requested character for BBTAG. He's the main villain rep for Persona 4. Yet, he is still not in the game. Great, okay. Alright, okay, well, I'm gonna mention both of those characters, Gray, right when I get to, the data mine. I'm gonna mention both Eltnum and Chaos, you know, along with the rest of them. Combo, I'm not holding my breath on them holding interactions for this new character pack. I think that at best, if we make it clear that this is unacceptable, I think at best that with the future characters, you know, they'll have character interactions for those, but I don't think they're gonna add character interactions if they didn't have any plan for this new character pack that just came out, dude. Distortion, that's exactly what it would mean. That's exactly what it means. If this new pack and, you know, what happened here sets the precedent for the future, you and Adachi will not have a special interaction. Adachi will not have a special interaction with any other villain as well, if that's the case. I agree, Gray. We need to see those characters this year. Trust me. Trust me. I'm about to get right into the data mine, and I'm going to talk about what all is here and what I think you know this means and what I'm hoping to see from them, you know, sometime in the coming months, man. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. Like, having Adachi in the game, his interactions, like, as awesome of a character as he is and like as fun of a character as he would be to play, his interactions are like half the joy. I want to see him troll characters, bro. I want to see him, like, you know, like, making fun of some characters in his intros. I really want to see, you know, him and like, some other villains, you know, having some kind of really cool, you know, intro. Maybe they're both, like, you know, taking stabs at each other or something. Who knows? Fires a gunshot, one of them jumps out the way. Maybe someone else tries to come back and tries to hit him. And then it's like, oh, you know, like, oh, well, I guess I'll respect you, you know. Let's fight together. I don't know, man. I really want to see what those interactions would be like. Yeah, Sinra and Kagura. I'm going to be mentioning them today, too. Alright, cool. Now I'm going to get right into the data mine. Let me see here. No, not right now, Combo. I gotta get here to the data mine information. But like after the stream, I mean, if there was something else that you want to tell me like after the stream, then you know, I'll definitely take a look. Or if you want to just type it out here, I'll take a look, dude. But yeah, getting right into the data mine. So just to keep it straight to the point, all of the characters from BlazBlue Central Fiction, Persona 4 Arena, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and Eunice, all of them have announcer lines. There were announcer lines found for all of those characters from all of the roster for each of those games, right? Alright, I saw that, Distortion. I noticed that myself. I did notice that. Now, just so you guys know, just so there's no misunderstanding here, there's no question of if the data mine is real or fake. These files are all 100% real, found in BBTAG's update They're all there in the game. They came from Bonus Coon, and it was Gray here. It was Gray here on the stream who actually gave me the information. Someone on Reddit was going around trying to say, oh, I got the leaks, and then they just wanted to say, oh, do you want to see them? And then it just looked kind of fake, right? And I disregarded it. But then when Gray told me, oh, hey, I have, I got some leaks here, I was like, okay, let me listen. And, I took a look at it, and he asked if I wanted to know who it was that it came from, right? And I was like, yeah, sure, because I have to know the reference, for where this came from. And when he said it was Bonus Coon, which if you guys don't know, check him out on Twitter. He data mines the game. He's the one that data mined the information about BBTAG last year. Bonus Coon is legit. He's 100%, official, legit. He has, like, all of his stuff and everything together. It came straight from the game. It wasn't made up, it wasn't doctored, it wasn't photoshopped. Arxis paid the person who's the announcer, they paid her to, say all these names, okay? That's what we know, 100%, that's concrete. Alright, okay, alright, so not only were there announcer files for all of those established fighting games, but there were also some files there for more Sinrin Kagura characters, for more Ruby characters, and also for the fighting game that the character Akatsuki is from. I believe it's pronounced N9, I believe that's how it's said. That's the name of the sequel game to the first one, Akatsuki Blitzkampf. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna read the names of the characters that were listed there, that were spoken for Ruby, Arcana Heart, Sinrin, and N9. Just so you guys, know them. So for Ruby, we have John, Pyrrha, Nora, Rin, Sun, Cinder, Roman, Neo, Emerald, and Adam. For Arcana Heart, we have Saki, Akane, Weiss, Kamui, Kira, Minori, Petra, Scarlecrot. That's how I pronounce her name. You know who I'm talking about. It's the villain. And Fiona. For Sinrin Kagura, we have Asuka, Yumi, Homura, Miyabi, Yozakura, Yagyu, Mirai, Ryobi, Rinka, Kagura, and Hibari. And for N9, we have N9. Oh goodness, man. This is like, what, German? Kati, Kanai, Sai, Fritz, Y, Adler, Ginko, Cynthia, Kanzintia, Murakumo, and Blitztank. Okay. Alright, cool. Okay, so that's all of them. Alright, let me double check the comments before I get into this here. I actually thought about it. I came up with what I believe will be the best case scenario, the likely case scenario, and the worst case scenario. But before I get into them, let me double check the comments really quick. Yes, Scruffy. I'm actually going to talk about that specifically. The fact that Emerald was mentioned and Mercury wasn't. I'm going to talk about that, dude. Okay, cool. Alright. So, best case scenario, which this is the least likely scenario. I don't believe that this is likely at all. Before Mori, he said that Eltnum wasn't getting in because Type Moon had rights to her, and they'd have to work with, another company to be able to add her. They've said that puppet characters won't be getting in as well. Now, best case scenario is that somehow these things are no longer issues. French Bread has helped get those guest characters into BBTAG because they'll have new characters in Uni Clear, the new version of Uni that leaked, and that, you know, they figured out a way to somehow make puppet characters work in BBTAG without breaking the game. Okay? Now, this also confirms that there's loads more Ruby and Arcana Heart characters, and this also confirms that N9 is joining as the 6th Fate. And that they also had a lot of time to work on Sinner and Kagura characters from scratch. And if you count all of the characters, now, yeah, if you count all of the characters, that this means, if I did count them correctly, there's a total of 81 more characters that are planned for this game's lifespan. And I think all of that is extremely unlikely. At first, I'll be honest, I was excited to hear the names of the characters that people have been asking for since last year. And you guys don't know, when I heard Neo's name for the Ruby section, I'm not even gonna lie, I flipped out. I did. I literally flipped out. I was just like, oh my god, like, you just don't understand. I flipped out. It was great. I was just like, man, this is too good to be true. And once I finished hearing the rest of it, I pretty much came to that conclusion. Yeah, it was too good to be true. And, I mean, if all those characters were coming, this would literally please everyone, roster-wise. It would please everyone. It would please, like, every single fan base who had heard rumors of, oh, wait, I think my franchise is joining BBTAG. You know, it would please so many people. It would please everyone who had stuck with the game. It would please the few handful of people who for some reason still want Izanami and Arachne, you know, characters that the majority of the people don't want in the game. It would please too many people. It was so good. It was so good looking at it from a big perspective. That, yeah, it just couldn't, it couldn't have been true. Yeah, Distortion, that's the other thing too. It would be a lot to balance the game. To balance a game with that many characters, I mean, they already have enough trouble balancing this number of characters, right? I think that in terms of making sure that the new characters come into this game balanced, the characters that come from other fighting games, they can look at how that character has performed in that game, you know, and then they can see what makes them good, what makes them bad, and they can translate them over into BBTAG, you know, so they can roughly try to keep everything balanced, right? I think that the ones that come from other fighting games, those ones are easier to balance than the ones they make from scratch, in my opinion. So, the Sinner and Kagura characters and the new Ruby characters, in my opinion, would be the ones that are hardest to balance. Okay. Alright, and then, like I said, relating to, like, some of the different, the way that they pronounce some of the characters, like, for Sun, and also, I was like, I was about to lose my mind when they said Sun, because Sun is one of those characters that I never, ever, ever expected to come in this game, but you guys know, I would love, love, love for him to make it in. But yeah, I don't expect Sun to come into the game, but they did mispronounce his name. They said like Sun Wukong or something, and it's Wukong, and they mispronounced his name. They said Petra's name from Arcana Heart. I'm not gonna lie, they said like her last name or something, bro. It sounded like the announcer. Dude, it sounded like she was just stumbling over this name, bro. If you hear Petra's last name being said, it's like, it sounds so bad. It's like, what did you just say? Like, it doesn't sound right at all. It sounded so weird, dude. Alright, let me... Yeah, Combo, if they had all those characters, yeah, man. Fighting game of the year. Fighting game of the year, hands down. Let me see here. Yeah, Psych. Right, yeah, Psych and Gray. I did hear that. I heard that there were files, of them saying, you know, characters that are already in the game, saying their names wrong, too. Okay, I'll say this. Yes, that's true. But just like how there's files saying their names wrong, there's files saying their names right. And unless Bonus Kun didn't show, because I know there was like another set of audio files he didn't put out there, but unless they pronounce, you know, they pronounce the name noticeably differently in that one, I don't think that, you know, I think that this is a different situation. For them to only have one recording present in the game, that's my personal bigger concern. But, you know, who knows? Maybe a character like Sun or, you know, a character like Petra, they could still end up in the game. It's not that much of a problem to get her to re-record, you know, those lines, or maybe they even have extra lines, you know, not even in this version of the game that they've already recorded. Combo. Okay, Combo. Are you sure about that, bro? Because Gray said, this is what happened. I checked for myself myself through certain characters directly from the file straight from bonus, and but I didn't check all the BlazBlue characters directly from bonus. I checked them what was it? I checked them, the ones that Gray sent me, because Gray, he organized them into, like, different franchises, so then that's where I got that from. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Gray, if you saw, okay, cool, yeah, he just said, yeah, he heard Lambda, because I will say, Lambda's the only one I haven't personally heard myself, but, you know, going off of Gray's word, and the fact that I heard literally every other single BlazBlue Central Fiction character's name called, it's not that hard for me to believe that Lambda was also there. I just didn't hear it. That's what I'm pretty sure. Okay, Gray. I mean, like, I'll take your word for it. Right here. Okay, yeah. Track is saying that he also heard Lambda. Okay, cool. Then we can say that, yeah, Lambda was mentioned, because again, I know for a fact I heard every other single BBCF character. Lambda was the only one I didn't hear, so I totally believe that you know, they did record her line too. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, also, there were some people, funny enough, that doubted this because Ryuko and Satsuki weren't mentioned. You know, I mean, it's like, sure, if they're coming, they would be announced at EVO, and they would be coming out at the end of the year. Not anytime really soon, not anytime right after EVO. But at this point, right now, I'm not really thinking about Ryuko and Satsuki. Yes, that would be awesome, but dude, I just want some more Ruby characters. I just want my villains. I just want my best girls in the game, so I can have Celica and Rise for the best girls crossover team. Please. Alright. Okay, so let me move on to the likely scenario here. This is the scenario that I think is likely. This is what I'm thinking. This is how I'm interpreting everything, right? So, they named every single possible character that could join the game, and either also, and also they did also name all the puppet characters and everything, and, you know, like, characters that, you know, we were pretty sure weren't going to come to the game. You know, puppet characters, guest characters, you know, like Eltnum and Akatsuki, you know. So I think they named those just so that there's a few red herrings in the BlazBlue, Uni, and Persona rosters. Now, like I said, I don't think everyone who is named will join, but at the same time, and this was something that I thought of, and I really had a debate about this in my mind, at the same time, I don't think that they would waste money on a bunch of announcer lines just to troll the BBTAG player base. I don't think they have money to blow like that, saying, hey, let's have all these characters announced. Let's have all the hype Ruby characters that people have been asking for. You know, I want you to say all those names. I want you to say all these Senran Kagura girl names. I want you to say this random Fate, you know, this other franchise's names. I want you to say all of them, and I'm going to put them in the game. They're going to data mine it, and they're going to get all these names, and we're going to troll them. I really hope that that's not the case. You know, I don't think that that's the case, simply because that would cost them money for nothing. You know, at this point, I think it'd be really stupid to not have the major missing characters join the game. You know, I think we're definitely, from what I've seen, I think we're definitely getting more Ruby and Arcana Heart characters. Now, why? Because if you look at that list for the Ruby characters, they put thought into the list of the Ruby characters that they chose. The ones whose names that they called, they put thought into those. If you guys noticed, Crow is not mentioned. And he is a very popular pick. But we all know the situation surrounding that. And the fact that he isn't mentioned, it comes across like, yes, they did put thought into the list. Also, I think it'd be pretty much trollish for them to, have him named, considering the situation and the fact that, everything else has been going on. Not only that, but we all know that the dev team wanted to have Penny and Adam join the game. But Penny's name is not mentioned here. It's just Adam. So, it's totally possible that this list is a mixture of what the devs wanted and what they saw the fans wanted, right? That's the way that I see it. Because if you think about it, a lot of fan faves are in there. They have Team Juniper, which Ruby fans who don't really care about the other characters in this game want. They want Team Juniper. Then you have the people who've been playing this game and see the potential for, individual Ruby characters like, Seth and Roman and Neo and Adam and Cinder and Sun, and they had all of those hype characters named. It really, like, the fact that it was those specific characters, right? It's not like they went and they named Ozpin. It's not like they went and they named Glinda. There's a bunch of Ruby characters they could have named, but they didn't. And that really makes this list come across as like real, in my opinion. Now, the one thing that throws the list off is, again, the fact that Emerald was named, but not Mercury, okay? Emerald was named, but not Mercury. More people have asked for Mercury than Emerald, and in my opinion, I feel like Emerald was that thing that kind of threw people off, in my opinion. I think that was a name they put out there to throw people off. Maybe they put in some of the other ones there, like Sun, to throw some people off. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Yo, Kanye, dude, what's up? Just in the middle of the discussion here, talking about the recent Datamine. Okay, let me double check the comments before I keep going. Right, Combo, that's what I was saying. It does seem like this is something that had thought put into it. The only thing that doesn't show that there was specific thought put into it is the fact that all the BBCF roster, all the Unis roster, and all the P4A and P4AU roster was named. That's the only thing. When it comes to the Ruby, Arcana Heart, Senran Kagura, well, I'm not going to comment. I'm going to talk about Senran Kagura for a very specific reason, but I can't comment on their roster because I don't know the franchise, But yeah, okay, yeah. So for Arcana Heart, I don't personally know Arcana Heart, as a series that well, but there were a few names that I heard that made a lot of sense to me. So we had Weiss, Petra, Saki, Skarlacrot, and Minori. Those ones were named. That covers the other main Arcana Heart reps that a lot of fans were worried about. It also covers the villain rep, and it also covers that new 6 stars rep, Minori, since she's the only rep that's new in that, that version of the game. That covers all of that, and that makes a lot of sense to me. So I think that, again, that's another list that had thought put into it. Yo, dude, yeah, I don't know, yeah, like, I don't know about Kira, but, yeah, she was there, she was mentioned too. Like I said, I don't know the Arcana Heart franchise that well, but those are the ones that stuck out to me that, made a lot of sense to me to make sure they had in the game. So, again, I think that they did put thought into that list. Okay. Now, moving on here, also, okay, cool. Also, I take this to mean that Senran Kagura is definitely coming to BBTAG. Now, why? Why do I think that? There's a couple of specific time-relevant things that really make me think that, that Senran Kagura for sure is coming to BBTAG, okay? Now, for one, Asuka and Yumi were there from the very beginning, back when they, you know, data mined the beta last year. That's the first one, okay? I don't know if you guys are aware, I did mention it briefly on one of my other streams, but the Senran Kagura fanbase is in a weak spot right now. They are worrying about the future of the franchise. The producer of the series, he really cares about his fans, and he clearly has a positive view of Arc System Works, because in an interview, he was asked if he would like to make a 2D fighting game with Arc System Works for Senran Kagura, which he was interested, you know, he was saying, yeah, like, he would like to do that. He'd be really interested in doing that. And that was the December before we had BBTAG. So that was like December 2017. There was that. And he recently, you know, left Marvelous officially, even though he's still serving as the Senran Kagura producer, because of all the censorship and everything going on. And the fans are really worried about the franchise. The fans are really worried about the producer, you know, and, you know, the producer's worried about, you know, Senran Kagura and, you know, the fans that have been there for him since the beginning, pretty much, okay? Now, if they really, since they did this, since they've added in more names, you know, for Senran Kagura, if it doesn't come, that would just be something that, like, that would have just been pure bait then for the Senran Kagura fans, and that would really be the equivalent of kicking them while they're down, to be honest. And I'm sure that the producer, the Senran Kagura producer, he would be pretty angry that ArcSys did that to the people who've been fans of his for so long. You know, that would just be terrible if that happened. So that's one reason why I'm pretty sure at this point that Senran Kagura is going to come. Not all of those characters, that's not what I'm saying, not all of them, because again, red herrings. I think, I fully am convinced that there's red herrings there. I just think that, the series is going to be coming to BBTAG as a new fate. And then lastly, for N9, this is the only one that I personally have doubts about. Yes, they do name a lot of reps, but there's been very few people asking for Akatsuki's game to join BBTAG. You know, in comparison to Chaos Code and Dengeki Bunko, a lot more people by name have been requesting those two compared to Akatsuki's game. You know, and the thing is, if it did join BBTAG, it wouldn't cause that many more people to pick up BBTAG. I really don't think that, I don't think so. You know, I think that Dengeki Bunko would be the best choice when it came to that. Before I cover what the worst case scenario could be, I just wanted to double check the comments here. Combo, I mean, we don't have a season pass. We don't have a new season pass yet. Not yet, man. You know, still waiting on them to actually give us some details about what's gonna come next. Right, that's the other thing too. I'm not that familiar with N9 there, but like they had like a tank. Like a tank was named and people were saying there's no way that like that was fake and everything. Okay, so Kanye, dude, there have been some people requesting Chaos Code. It's not as many as people requesting Dengeki Bunko, because believe it or not, people have been asking for Dengeki Bunko since, like, within a few months of BBTAG coming out. Like, some people started asking for it, and then once we saw that more fates were coming, that was when people were like, oh my god, we gotta have Dengeki Bunko in the game. Like, Dengeki Bunko fighting Climax, people want those characters in BBTAG. And I think that they would work really, really well, to be honest. I don't have anything personally against N9 or BlitzConf there. It's just that It's just that it's not... This isn't the best time to you know, add that in. It's not the... The game needs more people, and if let me double check, because I'm pretty sure that in I'm gonna double check. Okay, yeah. Yeah, didn't In come out 9 years ago? And that's the sequel to Akatsuki Blitzkampf? Because I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm just double checking really quick. Never mind, not 9 years ago. It was 7 years ago. Okay, it was 7 years ago that it came out. And then... Okay, yeah, I got you. It was 7 years ago that one came out. I mean... It's been a while. It's been a while. Just saying. Let me see. Right. I mean, Kanye, dude, I agree. I mean, I've been saying that out of the things that people have been throwing out for the 6th Fate, it does need to be Dengeki Bunko. Because there's a bunch of franchises there that, you know, people really enjoy. You know, you have Durarara, you have Sword Art Online, you know, you have plenty others too. Black Bullet, you have Rentaro. I mean, and I think that those characters would honestly fit into this game really well. Not to mention, like I've been saying, Arxis is already working with French Bread and Sega. All they would have to do is ask Dengeki Bunko, the magazine publisher themselves, for rights to specific characters, and I'm sure that French Bread would have no problem lending their sprites to BBTAG that they made for Fighting Climax. Just saying, you know, BBTAG did help Eunice get that little bit more exposure needed to get into EVO. I'm sure French Bread wouldn't mind giving BBTAG the sprites from Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax, should Arc get those rights. I really think that that's a possibility. I think that that's something that's really feasible. I really hope that's what they do. I don't know, Combo. I know the majority of the people who bought the game have purchased it on PS4, so I'm not sure, man. I mean, it'll help the game. It'll help. You know, a sale, of course, will help, but... Oh, and then, yeah, I saw that some people were saying that Neptunia wasn't mentioned. All that, in my opinion, all that means is like, okay, well, it's just not going to be a mention in the next year. I mean, that's okay. Doesn't mean it's not happening. Just saying. They did say 9 Fates. That's what, well, the rumors have said 9 Fates. And it does look like that's likely. But if we do get Neptune, I want Hero Tune. I really want Hero Tune. But I don't know how likely that is to happen. Right. Yeah, that's Zin. That's what I said, man. In case I wasn't clear, I'm not saying that BBTAG is what got Uni the spot at EVO. BBTAG got more eyes on Uni than what it had before, and that's what led to Uni getting, you know, its spot at EVO. It was the Uni community that secured, you know, and everything, and their support and everything. That's how it got a spot at EVO. It's just that BBTAG just gave it a few more eyes. It's literally like, oh, hey, they're going and doing something really cool, but then no one's looking at it, or fewer people are looking at it, and then BBTAG's like, hey, look at what they're doing. And then it's like, oh, wow, look at what they're doing. Let's put them in EVO. That's what I'm saying, man. Alright, okay, yeah, so let me get to the worst case scenario. Okay, so, worst case scenario here, which I really hope that this isn't the case. Yeah, I really hope this isn't the case. Worst case scenario, the majority of the names were just bait. And, you know, maybe, you know, I just think that, I think this is unlikely because, you know, maybe if they had, like, the missing characters already in the game, then sure. throwing out a bunch of names so no one knows, you know, who's coming next, that might be more tolerated. But at this point, they've literally been backing themselves further and further into a corner. And, you know, personally, I say that even in the worst case scenario, I still do believe that more Ruby and Arcana Heart characters are coming, because like I said, there was thought put into both of their lists. You know, worst case scenario though, Senran Kagura was just pure bait and is never getting in. And of course, that would spite the Senran Kagura community, that would spite the producer for Senran Kagura. There's a lot of bad that would do, and that's why I hope that that's not the case. Because all the Senran Kagura fans who have been asking for, hey, I want a 2D Senran Kagura fighting game. Okay, who do you have out there that can make that? You have Arc System Works, you have French Bread, and you have Capcom. If you want a 2D Senran Kagura fighting game, those are the three choices. If they burn their bridges with Arc, they have French Bread and Capcom. French Bread is very busy with Uni, and very rarely do they even take on a different property. So that's unlikely. Even though they have the skill to do it, and they can do it, it's just unlikely. Just from what I've seen, and from what people have told me, because I've asked. So then you have Capcom. Good luck with that. Alright, you know, I just think that overall, it would be really dumb for us to not get those major missing characters this year. But at worst, I could see them spreading them out along with lesser requested and disliked characters, you know, like Arakune and Izanami. But yeah, I mean, pretty much time will tell. We'll know by the end of EVO at the very latest if they were just placeholders so that they could decide characters later. Which still, I thoroughly believe that means, you know, all of the series would get more reps. Or if this was just pure bait to screw with the player base. At this point, I doubt the game will be at EVO 2020. Maybe at EVO Japan, you know, EVO Japan next year, but not EVO US 2020. You know, the people running EVO, they're probably looking at BBTAG, and they're seeing all the controversy around it, right? BBTAG, I mean, I could see them looking at BBTAG like a walking problem. You know, why have something with constant issues and controversy? You know, something that ARC has truly been treating like a side project in comparison to Fighters, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and Kill la Kill If. Why have something like that at the biggest tournament in the world when they could just replace it with something else that gets a lot more care and attention? I think that's the big thing here. I don't know if ARC realizes that, but that's just it. If they don't, at this point, I wonder even if they did somehow turn everything around between now and EVO, and they had a nice, clean marketing, you know, period between now all the way up through the end of this year. I still wonder if the people running EVO would let BBTAG come back next year. Because, you know, who knows? They might just be thinking, okay, well, everything seems okay now, but dude, January, February could come, or you know, March could come, and everything could just, you know, turn to crap. Just like that. Because I swear, that's literally how it happens, bro. That's literally how it goes. At this point, I just don't understand. It would have been so easy to have this game's problems addressed if they just got the characters in that people were asking for. I mean, between that and how they marketed, you know, Ruby being an equally represented thing, you know, in this game, when it's not. You have 4 characters. You have 4 characters from Ruby. They're an 11th of the roster. We have 44 characters. Ruby is an 11th of the roster. That's not okay. We don't have any major villain reps from any of the franchises. We still don't have we still have an incomplete investigation team. Still missing Rise. I mean, come on. Yeah, Zen, I mean, they need to do... Yeah. Like, they definitely need to just take better care of this game. Tiger, I've seen people say that before. I 100% disagree. Guilty Gear should not have taken Ruby's place. I'm not gonna say that Ruby should have taken Guilty Gear's place either, but I'm not gonna say that Guilty Gear should have taken Ruby's. I'm not gonna say it either way. All I'm gonna say though is that Ruby has helped this game sell a lot. And I'm sure that if they added Guilty Gear in, that would definitely help this game, you know, sell a lot more copies as well. But to say that, like, any of those franchises should have been taken out, I disagree. I do disagree. Alright, well, I'm gonna try to get